Bonjour à tous, c'est Monsieur Springer et je veux vous parler de la comparaison culturelle que vous allez faire en français AP. So this week is going to be your first cultural comparison. This is one of the free response activities on the AP French exam. So far you've done the email reply and the conversation. And now in Unit 3, we're going to get into the cultural comparison and then finally the persuasive essay. And so the cultural comparison, the idea behind it is not that hard to understand. You're basically given an oral presentation to an audience about a topic on French culture. Now I want to just point out one thing. The AP French exam is actually called the AP French Language and Culture exam for a reason. The culture is embedded in the study of language, no matter what language you study, right? And while there are no specific questions on the AP exam about culture, you're not going to find a multiple choice question asking you about an aspect of the culture just from memory. But it's embedded in what we're doing, and we especially see this in the cultural comparison. In short, you're going to have 4 minutes to prepare, to read the prompt and prepare, and then you have 2 minutes to record. Now, for now, you don't have to only take 4 minutes. You can take longer than that, but second semester we're going to get down to that time frame because I want to prepare you well for the AP French exam. You do only have 2 minutes to record, which means you should not record for more than 2 minutes. But you do want to fill up as much of the 2 minutes as possible. That doesn't mean that I'm going to immediately mark off points if your presentation is only 1 minute long. But the whole point of the AP free response activities, whether it's the email reply, persuasive essay, cultural comparison, or conversation, the point is to use the time and space you have to show your language and cultural competencies. So if the better you do with that, the more you use that, the better that's generally going to be for you. I do encourage you to look at the barème or the rubric here. I will use this as usual to grade your response and to let you know how you're doing on the AP scale. And for this first time, I'll just give you 100%, but I'm going to give you feedback on it. As long as you give me a solid effort, I'll give you 100%. So a few of the things to look for here that I just want to point out is that you have a thorough and effective treatment of the topic, including supporting details and relevant examples. That just means the more detailed you can be and the more you can really talk both about your own culture and a French-speaking culture, the better. The more examples you can give, the better. Okay, so more is better here with the free response activities. The more you can be varied in your vocab and idiomatic expressions, like we learned some idiomatic expressions last week, the more you can do that, the better as well. And as you prepare your response, again, you're not writing down a response and then reading it, right? But you can choose, you can write down some little expressions or a little roadmap to help you in your response, and that's a good spot to write down some of those idiomatic expressions. Obviously, we want to make sure that you are using good grammar and that I'm able to understand you. That's a big thing, as always. So let's take a look at the specific task for this week. Quelle est l'attitude de genre de votre communauté? It's also going to ask you something about that. Votre communauté en ce qui concerne, and then a topic. It'll always be different. Le partage de la vie privée dans les médias, tels que les émissions de télé-réalité, Comparez vos observations des communautés où vous avez vécu avec vos observations d'une région du monde francophone que vous connaissez. Donc, vous allez faire votre propre communauté. Pour la plupart de vous, ça va être les États-Unis, n'est-ce pas? Le Michigan, votre ville, etc. Donc, dans ma ville où j'habite, les gens pensent comme ça, mais dans la France, dans le Canada, au Senegal, you can choose wherever that you're familiar with how their view of life and their cultural practices are different than yours. You always want to make a comparison as much as possible, okay? So this isn't a time to do some research online. No, you have to use what you've been studying in this unit. In my mind, this is maybe the trickiest of of all of the free response activities. It's even trickier than the persuasive essay in some ways because you never know what you're going to be asked. in this one, more than any of the other tasks, relies on information that you know in your head just from your studies. You know, you're not going to have any information in front of you on the AP exam that's going to give you information, you know, it's going to give you some hints or clues or additional resources about whatever topic you have here. So take the study of all those websites, videos, things that we're looking at in class really seriously. Store that in your memory bank, because that'll come in handy on the AP exam. But for now, we're talking about la vie privée dans les médias. So see if you can come up with something good there. And remember, if you give me your best effort for now, you've got nothing to lose. So don't feel afraid to kind of like awkwardly work through this, because it takes a while to get used to it. When in doubt, be detailed, take your time to speak clearly, and I bet you'll do great on it.